A broken world, destroyed by something until then unknown. The advanced civilization that humanity once was no longer exists. All that remains is the sea, an ocean full of secrets and things beyond comprehension. This is today's Manhwa story, so without further ado, let's go. Have you ever thought about living in a world that was consumed by the sea? Everything was taken. There is no land anymore. Only an infinite ocean. The civilization that once thrived was completely submerged. Humanity sank. However, the sea flourished again. We dive into the ocean, observing what was once an advanced civilization. Until a foot steps among the wreckage, there are two people in diving suits and with harpoons as weapons. The man says there is sharp glass where they are walking and asks Bota to be careful. The man appears to be Bota's father, who says he knows that. The two walk until they reach a convenience store. When Bota's father leans on a column, he sees the market completely taken over by fish, with all supplies sunk. The two look around, trying to find something. Bota turns around, seeming to have found something. He tells his father he found canned food, and the father says to take everything he can. Bota picks up one of the cans and asks what it is. It's answered that it says powdered milk on the label. Bota's father scolds him, asking why he's not studying to read and write. The boy says there's no reason to learn if there's nothing to read or write. The father says it may not be useful now, but it will be in the future, and tells him to study more. The boy says he's being very annoying again, so the father grabs 3 forks to take home. But Bota complains they already have many and don't need more. The father insists, reinforcing that it may not be useful now, but it will be in the future, and Bota doubts it. They prepare to go home, saying that must be enough. He pulls a rope and buoys appear on the cart, taking them to the surface. Bota looks back thoughtfully and says that his father calls these places ruins that were once full of people, but now all he sees are just abandoned buildings, and says they just look gloomy and scary in the deep ocean. Then the cart appears in the sea. In the background, there's a ship with a little girl shouting, "Daddy!" The little girl is called Rita, and he asks if she saw something, with her saying no. It seems that there's no room even for birds around here. Bota says it's been a few months since even a single bird came by. He, indignant, asks if there's really no one else alive there besides them. Rita also asks if all the people died like Mommy. The children's father stays silent and then calls both of them with a sad face. He explains that there are indeed other people in the world. It's just hard to find them because the ocean is very vast and deep. But no matter how long it takes for that to happen, he will protect them with his life, and that they must always help each other. The two, feeling better, agree, but the father seems worried, adding that they must never forget they are all in the same boat. Bota explains that each one has their role on the boat. The father takes care of hunting and repairing the boat. He takes care of food and water, and his little sister Rita takes care of the clothes and cleaning. Exploring the ruins is one of Daddy's responsibilities, says Bota. Starting last year, his father gave him permission to hunt near the surface, and recently he was allowed to go to the ruins with him, and that's how the family gets everything they need from the sea. Inside the cart, there's a lot of junk. Bota and Rita start checking all kinds of stuff that came from the bottom of the ocean. They say it's their favorite pastime. Bota adds that there's one last very important rule. At the moment he was about to say it, the clocks start to ring. This is the moment when Bota's father gets most tense. Hurrying, he tells Rita and Bota to hide on the deck. At this moment, everyone must stay alert. Bota's father tells him to hurry up and get in, but Bota remembers there are still some fish out there. He tries to go out to collect the fish, but his father doesn't let him, pushing him inside by force, closing the door. Night comes. Inside the deck, the clocks mark the time next to a little fish. The three are in the corner of the boat in silence. Rita watches the little fish while there's only the sound of the clocks. Rita asks if she can hug the fish, and both ask her to stay quiet, scared. The little one hugs the fish and stays silent. Suddenly, the boat shakes, and a loud sound echoes. Bota says they're here. A fin approaches the boat silently. They move at night. 5 of them surround the boat, just waiting for the right moment. Then one of those creatures hits the boat. Bota is very scared inside. He says he's scared and asks whatever is there to go away. Bota's father puts his arm on his shoulder. He says it's okay and there's nothing to worry about. They sometimes just stay around the boats out of curiosity and then go away like they did before. Bota thinks to himself that his father would never go without them until everything was okay. He feels comforted by his father's presence. While the clocks keep ticking, they prepare to sleep while their father covers them. Bota asks if there were many Leviathans where his father lived. He answers saying they are everywhere in the ocean. But where he lived, they had harpoons that were used to hunt and take down these monsters. As Bota turns surprised to listen, he asks about these harpooners, and his father says they were warriors, great warriors who protected people from the Leviathans. Bota listens attentively, surprised by these stories. Bota's father says he is also a harpooner, saying that the tattoo he has is the mark of a harpooner. The boy asks what that is. In this case, he asks about the 6 strange dots his father has. He says that those are not dots, they're stars. Bota, a bit confused, asks what stars are. The father remembers that neither of his children has seen a star because they've never left the boat at night. He says it's something that shines a lot and that you can see during the night when everything is dark. In the past, people used the stars to navigate the oceans without getting lost. It was like countless gems and jewels spread across the skies, shining brightly. When he finishes explaining, the 2 are already asleep, and he looks at them with pity, since in reality, what he wanted to show them one day was the beauty of the night sky. Already the next morning, the fish wake up all destroyed. Bota says that was their food for the week, and Bota's father sighs, saying that the boat is completely destroyed, with several wreckage scattered on the floor. But luckily they are safe, and that's all that matters. With Rita saying they didn't get hurt, despite everything, Bota, with a sad look, asks if they are really lucky. Asking them to look at something, the boat appears all scratched, as if something was warning them to leave its territory. They will have to spend at least a week repairing the boat, and the father says they won't have all the parts, so Bota asks if they should go to the ruins. The father asks if the boy is crazy. Bota tries to explain, saying that, while his father is busy repairing the boat, he will go down into the ruins and get the necessary parts. His father says he will definitely not allow it, saying that monsters can hide in the ruins and he can't go during the day. The boy insists, saying he just wants to help. They were in the ruins a day before, so he claims he can go alone now. The father, worried, says yes, but they were only lucky because he checked the surroundings to make sure it was safe and says that won't work. Then he tells the 2 they are not allowed to go to the ruins until they turn 17. Bota complains, asking how his father can decide things for him, and says he's old enough to go wherever and whenever he wants. His father says these are necessary rules for the family's safety, and Bota argues, asking how long he'll keep treating them like children. The man tries to explain to Bota that it's just for the ruins and that they would still take them anywhere they wanted. Bota, with a serious expression, refuses. He says none of that matters because they'll still be stuck on the boat. Wherever they go, there's only water and nothing else. They are trapped, just like a fish in a bowl swimming in circles. He stares at his father, looking determined. His father still tries to explain, but Rita tells the 2 to stop and look at something. They are birds. They apparently are flying in some direction. The 2 are surprised. Their father says those are seagulls and tells Bota to raise the sails. because in the distance they see a building. Bota says it's a building island. Seagulls are everywhere, surrounding this structure. The boy's anxious, saying there might be people in there. And the two little ones start shouting to see if there's anyone inside. But their father puts his hand over their mouths and asks them to wait quietly on the boat while he prepares his harpoon. He says that if something happens to him, Bota must raise the sails quickly and get out of there. Bota then asks if his father will fight the people inside the building. He makes an uncertain expression and says that depends on whether those inside are good or bad. While putting the harpoon on his back, then jumping into the sea, Bota gets worried about his father while watching him going to the building. Upon going up there, Bota's father encounters a huge building. He asks if there is anyone there and says they need help. Looking up, he sees a staircase with the top dark. He becomes thoughtful whether he should go up and ends up going. After climbing the stairs, he faces an old and rusty door that was ajar. Upon pushing it slightly, he comes across a corpse of someone who had lived there some time ago. Looking scared, he realizes there are two more skeletons. Outside, Bota and Rita wait, hoping whoever is inside are good people and can hardly wait to meet. But looking to the side, Bota notices something. It appears to be someone drowning. Bota asks if it is a man. Meanwhile, the boy's father continues investigating the building. He finds a box and opens it. Inside the box, there were two explosives. He asks why these ancient relics are there. And looking ahead, he sees a huge hole in the wall, asking scared, "What is this hole?" The steel bars were inverted, signaling an attack coming from outside. And looking to the side, he notices something even more surprising. Several marks that look like claws were on the building, as if something very big had passed there. He remembers these were marks similar to those from the attack on the boat yesterday. He then hears something outside, and Rita calls her father. Looking outside, he asks if they are okay. The boys say yes, and Rita says her brother was about to do something. He then asks what Bota was going to do, and says they have to get out of there now. The boy says it looks like there is a man drowning, and the father gets confused. The two observe something struggling in the middle of the sea, but realize it is not a person, but a kind of slime. Their father says that is not a man, and then the thing disappears. Suddenly everything becomes calm, and Bota says it went away, but his father says it didn't. He says there is something under them, and the sea looks a bit dark with something very big under the boat. Bota's father gets very scared and grabs the two children with a desperate look. Then we are revealed that there is a monster with a huge mouth just watching them. After that, it advances toward the boat, destroying it completely. With the three inside trying to hold on to something, the beast then finds the three staring at it hungrily, and then both shout, "Leviathan!" The beast begins chewing the boat more and more, while Bota and Rita start falling. The father holds them. It is a huge beast with a face on top of a giant mouth. The boat is split in half, but the three manage to recover. Then Bota notices something, and right after a giant shadow scares them, it is the Leviathan preparing a tail attack against the family. The attack completely destroys the boat, and they fly out, being thrown toward the building. Meanwhile, the Leviathan keeps circling them, waiting for an opportunity. The three are exhausted, with Bota grumbling in pain. His father asks if he is okay, and just when he is about to affirm, he notices Rita is unconscious and gets desperate, telling his father he thinks she took a lot of damage from the impact. And his father says they are very lucky none of the two were seriously injured. Then Bota asks if his father is okay. Their father has a steel bar stuck in his stomach. He says not to worry because he is fine, but Bota says he is bleeding a lot. His father says there is no time for that, and they must leave as fast as possible. Bota agrees, crying. He takes Rita and runs as fast as he can. Meanwhile, their father tries to remove the steel bar from his body. With much effort, he slowly pulls it out in a painful process. Meanwhile, the monsters approaching the building where he is. Getting very close, he faces the man and starts opening his mouth. The Leviathan is bubbling as if it were burning. Then the two's father says something is wrong, because when the fish came to the surface, the sun should burn it. The Leviathan notices the man is injured and has a steel bar in his belly. Then he leans slightly and starts pulling his sword. But when he was about to advance, the beast looked to the side. The target was Bota and Rita, who were running far away from there. The creature licks its lips, desiring both. Then it starts advancing, and their father tells them to go faster. Bota looks back scared and sees the building entrance. The monster comes closer and closer, then Bota jumps with Rita on his back to the entrance. They almost got caught by the Leviathan's teeth, which got stuck in the building wall. Bota in panic holds Rita worried, and a tentacle appears through the window. Searching for the two, it keeps hitting the ground. Rita unintentionally lets out a moan of pain, and the tentacle stops. Bota covers his and Rita's mouth, and the tentacle stops in front of them. It mimics a kind of drill and easily drills the wall next to Bota. Bota, desperate, starts running, rolling from under a rock, afraid. He wonders if the monster went away, and tries to get out, but a foot appears, and Bota, scared, asks if it is their father, then shouts relieved. Their father stops for a moment and closes his eyes. Upon opening, he begins to liquefy, showing his true appearance. Bota freezes out of fear, and a tentacle starts wrapping them. Bota says he will die, and then is grabbed. In a desperate attempt, he tries to hold on, but it's in vain. The monster pulls them out of the building, ready to devour them, and then starts bringing them closer to the mouth. Bota can only scream for his father. Then a bloodied steel bar is shown. Then their father appears, cutting the tentacle that held the two. Right after holding the two while the monster screams, he slides down while cutting the Leviathan. Upon falling to the ground, he tells the monster not to touch his son and prepares for the real battle. He tells Bota to hide among the rocks while he fights the monster, saying he had never seen one as big as this and that it was bigger than the observation room, but tries not to think too much about it. After all, he can't fail. If he loses, the kids will die, so he must kill the monster. No matter what happens while advancing toward the Leviathan, a hand attack comes toward the man. Scratching him, he counterattacks, making a lateral cut with all the strength he can. He makes multiple cuts on the monster, which screams in pain. The beast prepares another hand attack, but Bota's father dodges, running along the arm, jumps to the monster's head. He says it is big, so it is slow. Sticking the sword, he starts going down while ripping the Leviathan. He can win if he's out of the water, thinks the man. Kicking, he pulls the sword out of the monster, landing on the ground, but is hit by a tentacle, catching him off guard. He is thrown away, hitting a wall, while spitting blood. Bota appears hiding behind a column and shouts for his father. He notices there is a rope nearby. Grabbing it, he prepares to cut it. Then a part of the building falls on the Leviathan. The man starts climbing where the rope was tied, and the monster comes right after with its mouth open, ready to devour him. Bota's father forces to pull the piece of wood and falls toward the Leviathan, piercing it. Blood splashes everywhere, and Bota is just watching everything, saying how amazing his father is, and affirming that his father will win. He is winning. The beast hits the building. The piece of wood is stuck in the monster's mouth, not letting it close. He then prepares another ambush, stabbing not just once, but several times. More blood flows, and the man tells the creature to die already, but where he was stepping ends up cracking. In a moment of distraction, Bota's father is pierced in the belly. He starts spitting blood, and Bota asks about his father. The monster shows a satisfied face. While the trembling and scared boy calls for his father, he looks back and starts remembering moments, saying he was focused only on keeping them safe. If he didn't return after a dive, his heart raced as if it were going to explode. He says when they were scared at night, he held the children, calmly comforting them. But the truth is, he was terrified too. The thought of losing the children was too scary. He says he was afraid he couldn't keep them safe. With a smile on his face, he says, "I love you, son." Right after, drops his sword, which falls on the ground next to Bota. He takes one of the bombs he had seen inside the building and asks the boy to take care of Rita, sticking the bomb into the Leviathan skin. Bota looks scared while an explosion happens, throwing the boy backward with the shock wave. The monster starts to fall, sinking into the ocean. Bota, half dazed, looks at the sea where he only sees the water bubbling, calling for his father, but there is no answer. He only sees his goggles floating in the ocean. Bota then starts crying while screaming for his father. That's it for today. If you liked the video and want a part 2, comment, like, and share so we can keep bringing you quality videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.